Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe, hit that button for me. And I finally got what I wanted, because I no longer have the Razer Kishi version 1. Unfortunately, that was given away to, well, I'm not gonna say unfortunately, I gave it to a family member. And since I switched back to Apple, man, I've been looking for this controller, but I was trying to find it on sale. I did not find it, so I went through my local carrier, which is T-Mobile. And it is $99, just so you know. I didn't find it any cheaper. It's the Razer Kishi version 2. Luckily, I'm only paying $2 a month on it, so I'm like, you know what? That's not a big deal. So with that being said, super excited about using this controller so I can play Call of Duty Mobile again with a controller instead of the touch controls. Oh, I hate touch controls so much. But let's get into this review. So like always, for you guys out there that want to skip to a particular part that you want to see, you go ahead and do that. Now for this review, I'm only going to play one game, which is going to be Call of Duty. Now, if you're playing games like Genshin Impact and things like that, it's going to automatically work for you because of the settings. Some apps, some video game apps, have actual separate controls that allow you to customize the controller, but I use everything in its originality. So if you remember the first Razer Kishi, that guy had this weird, clunky, hideous design where it was like, well, the design wasn't hideous, but the inside part was terrible. Like it snapped in a weird way. This one, on the other hand, looks like this. Filling it instantly, I'm going to be honest with you, I actually prefer the Razer Kishi 1 controller after filling this one. Of course, I have to wait for gameplay and things like that. These little pieces right here do come out. So if you have a bigger phone or a phone that has a case, you can actually use this with certain cases. So for you OtterBox people out there, forget about it. You're wasting your time. But if you have a very thin case, I am going to try it with one on to see if it works. And if it doesn't, no big deal. Naturally, you're expected to not have a case on when you try this particular product. So it actually pulls out. It's completely adjustable. If you let go one side, it's going to snap right back. Like I said, these pieces come out, and they have other pieces that actually fit into here inside the box. And we're going to show you that in a little bit. Of course, the buttons are pretty clicky. They don't feel cheap. Now, what I will say is that when I felt the Razer Kishi 1, to me it was a more solid controller because it had thicker pieces on the side and it felt like you were holding more. This goes for the more sleek design, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest, but it is what it is. It's not many mobile controllers that work for iOS and Android that operate similar to this. So I want to say it comes with more things. I will hope so. I mean, what is this? I don't even know what that is. Let me pull this out and see if more comes with this. I don't even care about tear it because the fact is this isn't coming back to the store. That's weird. All right, I was kind of expecting more accessories to this, for being honest here. Because I remember watching reviews online, which was what made me actually get this. And it said it had these little pieces, different size pieces right here. Maybe I missed something. Let me go ahead and check. I'm tearing this off. I don't care. I'm just going to rip it off. What is this nonsense? I guess it doesn't come with any more pieces. That's surprising. So I'll double check the box again, like always, and let you know if I'm missing something. But it seems like that's all that comes with it. So for you guys out there that's wondering about the actual charger, you can charge your phone through this right here at the bottom. So you'll plug in your phone charger, which will be, in this case, the Apple cable, I believe. Yeah, it's not USB-C, it's the Apple cable. And then you can plug your phone up and have it charging at the same time when you play a game. Now, should you do this? Absolutely not. I'll give you two reasons. Number one, this is for Apple devices. Now, we'll slow charge your phone, like regular 5 watt or so, 10 watt maybe maximum, but it's not fast charging at all. So don't think you're going to plug this into your wall charger outside, your regular USB-C to USB Lightning charger and think you're going to get fast charging with it. It's not going to happen. So, very simplistic. Flip it over in the back so you can see it. There's a little Razer logo right there when you stretch it out. Buttons feel clicky. These are mappable buttons right here, the L4 and the R4. L2, R2 is obviously left side, right side, L1, R1. If you're wondering why it says L4 and R4, remember these are considered analogs. This is R3. I'm sorry, L3, R3, left side, right side. They're clickable too, so they actually have functions, especially if you play video games. I don't know if this is actually compatible with Xbox Live. What I will say is that this one looks strictly iOS. Now, I don't have Xbox Live anymore. I actually canceled that service, so, you know, if you want to see it, Hey, listen, give me some views and I'll show it to you. I have to sign up for that service. It's not free. Tired of buying stuff. But anyway, like I said, Razer Kishi V2 for iPhone. Very simple. One of these probably operate as a home button, back button, options, menu, things like that in video games. So you will have full compatibility. Also, this will work for games like Diablo Immortal, which also has a controller mode. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hook it up to the actual phone so I can show you how the application works and how it actually games. All right, guys, so we are back again, like always. And this section, you know, I should have mentioned this before, but I'm going to do a fit section for you guys. So like I said, like always, go to the section that you want to see in the timestamps. I'm not rushing for anybody. I'm here to have fun. I actually look forward to this product. So right here, I have a type of case where this isn't going to fit in here. So if we go ahead and let me see if I unlock the phone. All right, there we go. This is the Razer Kishi app. You will need this app in order to use this product. You just download it, free application, you plug it in, it automatically connects. Now, obviously, if you're using a too big of a phone, too big of a screen, what I did was these pieces that I showed you before, I just pulled them out, they come right out. And it allows you to put bulky or chunkier phones in here. Now, you may ask, why are these here in the first place? It's to hold your phone in place on the rubber so it won't slip or fall. But because I'm going to try it with a case, I purposely removed it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pop this in, as you can see, here. And I'm going to place it inside the hole right here. Now, it's not connected. Not going to work. You may ask yourself why. The type of case that I'm using, this is a Walmart case. It came, it's like $20-something. It's a 2-piece case. So right here, when you press this in, it's to protect it from like water and different things and dust. So this case is not possible. So if you're one of those outer box users with the thick chunky cases, you cannot use this case with this particular device. You think they would have, you know, compensated for that in this day and age, but they did not. So with that being said, that's the first test. I'm going to go ahead and try a different case now. All right, guys, so second attempt. This time I'm going to use another Walmart case, and this guy is thinner and has MagSafe. So again, it's totally understandable if a lot of people feel uncomfortable with leaving their cases, taking their cases off just to use a controller. To me, it seems super goofy to do that, and most people don't want to keep their phone protected. But again, this is the price you pay when it comes to using these type of cases. So I'm going to go ahead and put it inside the case, of course. We'll tap the Razer Kishi button, pop this in. All right, so it's in. And we are going to try this a second time. Remember, this stretches very, very far. As you can see, won't work. See? Too much of a loop, won't work. So that's the second case. You know, since we're in the video, I could just pop this off. This is actually easier to take off than the other one. And we are going to try the third case, which is wavy cases, all with designs. You may ask, why aren't you using a regular skin or like the leather case from Apple? I'll explain to you why. I'm not paying $50 for a leather case. That's simple. $50 to $60. That's goofy and ridiculous, and I'm not doing it. So, and plus I like different types of cases. This is my secondary case for my wife that I got her. And she's not using it right now. She's using a wallet case. I'm actually recording off of her iPhone 14 while I do the review. And as you can see, because of how chunky this case is at the bottom, it's just not going to fit. So again, for you case users, unless it's a Razer thin case or a skin or something like that, you're not going to be able to use it that way. So with that being said, now I want to do it the natural way. I'm going to put this back here, pull this guy back, fits right in, snapped right in. Now, as you can see, this is uneven right now a little bit. Well, it was uneven when I pressed down on it. And that's where these spacers actually come from. They hold the phone in place, and a rubber texturized grip holds it in place so it won't slip out or fall, especially if you drop it or something happens. You don't want this moving around like so. But for video purposes, I'm leaving it out just so you guys can see it. All right. Here we are. I'm going to go ahead and say, what is it asking for? App not installed. It is installed. This is the version. Oh, you know what? It's a version 2 app. That's fine. The problem with the version 2 app is that it won't change the fact that these cases won't connect to the lightning connector. So there you go. So I'm going to go away. I'm going to go ahead and install the Razer 2 application. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can stay on the phone and do it for you guys. Because if it gave me that option, it's probably going to pop back up again. No? That's fine. I'll just do it while I'm on the phone with you guys. Razer 2 application. Let's see. I didn't know they had a Razer 2 application. It's good to know. Is it V2? See if it pops up that way. Ah, it's called the Razer Nexus. I see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and double tap that real fast. Let it install. All right. All right, so the app is installing. Gosh, Wi-Fi is kind of butt. Yeah, Wi-Fi isn't that good in here. I'm downloading so much stuff at one time. It's taking a little bit of time, but it's all right. I'll just keep the video going. There's no need to switch it. So how your day's going? Pretty good? Hope so. So we're going to open the application. Here we are. And it's working. So look, the Razer 2 application does work just fine. That's a good thing. I never heard of that game. Adventure of Mana. I remember Adventure of Mana. I need to play that game, you know? Like, a lot of my games are actually on Android, unfortunately, and I just started using Apple again. And it's like, I invested all that money, and I can't even transfer my game over. Sad, man. It's really sad. Now, some of the games on here, obviously, it's not going to show all the games that you are allowed to play. But if you're playing games like, what's that game called? It's a Metroidvania game. I forget what it's called, but Castlevania, different games like that, they'll work just fine. Call of Duty should work, theoretically. So I'm going to go ahead and try that now for you guys. Oh, remember this? Badlands, whatever it's called. What's it called? Yeah, Badland. I remember that. Actually, here we go. Symphony of the Night. I have this actually on Android, and unfortunately, I can't show you now. Yep, requires me to actually download and play it. So, I'm going to stop the video, boot up Call of Duty so you can see it in real time. All right, guys, so I am back. We are loading Call of Duty. Let me get this junk away from the controller. Make sure that it works, first of all. Let me go to multiplayer, see if it pulls it up. What am I? You know, rank matches. What did it say? Elite? Elite something. I don't remember. I'm sure it's going. Okay, so at the top it says your team has an external device connected, which basically means that it registers this controller. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings. Wrong thing. I'm going to go to the settings right here. And we're going to put it on advanced mode. Advanced mode allows you to actually aim and shoot without. I normally have it on simple mode where you look at the person and shoots for you. The problem with that is that there's a delay in the shooting. So I know some people say that's considered cheating. If in reality, it feels like you have a delay, so you kind of have to hide your character more before the gun actually shoots. So one of the reasons why I decided to use the M16, because I'm like, listen, I just want to shoot some bullets in this game, and I want it to hit. I don't got time for the person running, sliding, jumping, and all that other nonsense. So here we are. Let's see if it allows me to do that. Where's that? There we go. All right. Feels good so far. What I will say is that, to be honest, I did like the feeling of the original one a little bit better. All right. All right, not bad. It does feel good. Now, the grips feel a lot smaller, similar to like a Nintendo Switch controller, and I do not like that at all. That's one thing I don't like. The original Razer Kishi, the size of it, I was perfectly fine with. And what I liked about it was that it had a lot of grip. It was easy to use. Oops, and it was a solid product. But this, who's coming? This guy right here just feels a lot clunkier, if we're being honest here. And I don't like that at all. The controller, I feel like I have less control over my character than I did in the original Razer Kishi controller. And this guy is, I don't know. It's like for smaller hands, if that makes sense. You know how you're used to certain things and it takes time to get used to a new product? It's probably going to take me time to get used to this. To be honest, I can move faster and smoother if I had a touchscreen controller. Well, I didn't hit a thing. Oh, come on. I got killed by trash. It's all good. Let me go back to this. All right. All right. Throw that. See, I probably have to mess. I feel like they're probably behind me. Yep. I knew it. I'm going to have to mess with the actual settings of this controller to kind of get it working the way that I want to, because right now it feels very, very, very stiff. And what I mean by that is like the not the orientation, but the feel of the controller, like moving left and right. I did have to change the sensitivity levels since I was using a PS3 or PS4 controller previously, but this one isn't bad. Like, it doesn't feel bad. You can definitely get used to it very soon. The analog clicks feel like the analogs feel a tad bit, not so much smaller than the last edition of it, but it just feels, oh, that guy looks pretty cool. Anyway, let's go into the last section so I can explain everything, because I'm all into the game, not paying attention to this video at this point. I was just playing the game. So, second video for you guys. I figure, you know what? I will do a second game for you. Let's do Vampire Survivors. And I actually like this game. It doesn't require much to really play. Now, normally when you first install this game, it's going to be in the vertical orientation, but you can make it horizontal like I do right here. I played this on Xbox, happened to look it up on the game, and it just happened to be on the iOS store. I don't know if it's on Android or not, and be honest, I don't care at this point because I have iOS devices. So controller automatically works, didn't require you to do anything whatsoever to get the controller working, as you can see. Hit A to go ahead and play. These are the different characters. There's many different characters, but I just downloaded this the other day. And it's not like a hard game. Basically, all you do is you just survive. You hit people, you run around like this, and you get power-ups. And it's a very simple game to play. Doesn't take much. It does take skill to play it, I'll be honest with you. But you got to pick the right weapons, but eventually you will die. There's nothing you can do about that. And, you know, power-ups are random. That's all. So I just wanted to show that this does, in fact, work with this controller with no issue whatsoever. And you're good to go. And I have to stop playing it because I will play this for 15-20 minutes in this video so that you can see how far I can get and keep leveling up my abilities. This is a fun game. I'm just glad it's on iOS because I had it on the Xbox Series S through the I forgot what that thing was called. Microsoft, that monthly subscription that Microsoft has, which is way too much if you ask me my opinion for the games that they offer, but that's another conversation for another day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pause it. And I'm going to show you how the application itself looks. So the Razer Kishi application. Now, normally I would do this on the screenshot, but I already have my wife's phone with me. So this is the app that we talked about, Razer Nexus. The Razer Kishi one is for the older controller. Now, I know that this is a Nexus one. So when you go ahead and tap it, here we are. The application is already working. We're good to go. Go ahead and press start. Nothing happens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tap this button right here, which takes me to the settings. This is the firmware. This is where you're able to actually remap the buttons. Doesn't look like there's really much anything else besides about, facts, feedback, customer service, firmware, remapping, streaming. So you do have the ability to basically stream to Facebook Live, YouTube, things like that. Personally, I'm never going to use these features because I don't do live streaming. So that's not for me, but for you live streamers out there, it is available. Don't mind the notifications, that's just YouTube. Remapping right here, you're able to actually change what some of these buttons do. Now, personally, you go to the one that you want, you go ahead and change it. Well, actually, no, correction. It allows you to change these two buttons, the top up here, which is L4 and R4, and it allows you to actually change those buttons. Personally, I don't know what I'm going to switch it to yet. If I do switch it to something, it's because I'm playing Call of Duty. I just want to switch it to something, but it's not much. So when you click it, I'm sorry, let me do that. When you click it, it allows you to just change what it is you want it to do. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as L4 and just, I don't care. Now, these buttons aren't buttons that I would really click anyway because of the positioning. Now, the old Razer Kishi, I believe this button was much bigger, like around this size 2, the whole thing. But because they have the extra matte buttons, they decided, well, you know what? They want to keep the simplicity of the size and the style, but just add a little for those gamers out there that really game on their phone. And like I said, I used to have a OnePlus 10T. I had purchased that because it charged from 0 to 100% in 20 minutes. It was at 50%, 10 minutes. So I got that strictly to play games on it. The problem was that Android, nothing's ever optimized ever. So, you know, we did eventually end up going to Apple. And this is a phone that I'm currently using. Don't mind the color. I didn't pick it. It's all they had, so I guess you can say I did pick it. But yes, very simplistic. There's not much in the application itself. If we go back here in the settings and go ahead and just look at some of these games, Farming Simulator and all this stuff, these are potential games that you can actually download. Some are free, some are not. And you can search on the Play Store to see which ones do and don't work for you. But I will leave that to you guys. Now, personally, this won't replace my Nintendo Switch. But if I'm at work or doing little light things, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The controller's a little expensive, I'll be honest with you. $100 for this controller is asking for a lot, especially given the fact that you can use PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S controllers without a problem, and it will work for this. But again, this is specifically made for this system, so I do understand why you would consider buying this controller. Though, you know, $100, I would have said this should have been $69.99, $70 tops. Wait for a sale. That's just my opinion. But anyway, is this not recording that part. Is this worth it? We're about to go into that section now, and then I'll let you know. So to answer the question, is this product worth it? I'm going to say yes, it is. Primarily for you guys that don't care about handheld systems, for you guys that don't want to have to carry a Nintendo Switch Lite, for you guys that want to play certain games that Nintendo doesn't offer, then yes, it's absolutely worth it. What I will also say is that the price tag, again, is a little expensive. As you can see here, these things are $99. It hasn't been out well, it's been out long enough, but there isn't many sales on it. And because stores don't really carry this product that much, it might be 2 or 3 per store, they sell out fast when there is a sale. If you're an avid gamer, and again, I'm talking about mobile gamer. If you're an avid mobile gamer, this is going to work for you. If you're one of those people, and let me just say this, I had the Razer Kishi version 1. There were 2 versions, Android, Apple, but then there were different versions that had the Xbox Live feature on it. The other one didn't, but it still worked both ways anyway for me. It was just sometimes I had to disconnect and reconnect it, and then it worked. I used to play Dragon Age and different games with this controller, but then over time, because it was an online game, like let's say you use Xbox Game Pass or the PlayStation one, PlayStation has their own version of this controller, which requires a subscription fee. It's the reasons why I would not buy it. It's a jawbone. I'm not buying that. If I get it for cheap, pawn shop, something like that, absolutely. But for regular prices, the same $100 price, I'm not going to do it. Though it does look a little bit more comfortable in my opinion. The Razer Kishi version 2 doesn't feel as comfortable as the first one to me. Primarily because if you're doing jumping moves, sliding moves, you're playing FPS games, it requires a certain level of comfortability to be able to play the game. Now, if you have a big iPhone like me, and if you're using the 14 Pro Max or any of the models for that matter, the heavier it is, the harder it is to actually hold this in place. And the reason I say that is because, not because of the spacers that I took out at the bottom, it's because heavier phones it's just more weight. And because these are very skinny controllers, like this reminds me of the Nintendo Switch controller. And it's just too skinny, like Joy-Cons. I prefer that bigger look where it sucked the phone in and held it in place solidly. And the controllers were big and chunky where it was just maximum comfort. But we live in a time where that would be considered ugly now. And they wanted, even though they added more features, I can't even say they really added more features. It's just more so they added this right here. I didn't even talk about these buttons here because, you know, one is brings you to the application, things like that if you want to play. These other ones are the settings buttons. So I didn't really talk about it because it's irrelevant. It's not doing you any good, honestly. Most people are probably going to still just swipe their controller. Now, if you're in game, obviously you can press option menu and stuff like that when you're in the game. But on a regular basis, like if you're swiping left and right, are you really going to tap this button to go back to the application? No, you're not. You're just going to go swipe and tap the application. So again, I try to make this as simplistic as possible. It's not a bad controller. It's just that $100 price range is just kind of hard to justify at times. But again, if your primary source of gaming most of the time is on a train, on a bus, different stuff, and you want to use your iPhone rather than having to carry a Nintendo Switch or a Steam Deck or anything like that, yeah, get it. It's not a bad product. I'm definitely keeping it. Even though I complain about the grips, I'll get used to it. It is not life or death. I'm playing mobile games. It's not like I'm out here playing Street Fighter 6 and all that stuff, and Tekken and all that. It's fine. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.